Hey everybody, it's Uncle Grumpy. Welcome to Grumpy's Kitchen, our second episode. Tonight we're trying something a little different. Tonight I've got some New York strip steaks. Looking pretty good. About 3/4 of a pound each. And of course we're gonna marinate those in our tincture, as we do just about everything we can put that in. That's an alcohol tincture that's basically Everclear and all the cannabinoids and everything off the out of the plant. So the alcohol will cook off, and the cannabis, the flavor, as well as all the good medicine will still be left in the food. So we're going to marinate some steaks in that with a little bit of seasoning. Now I've got a tenderizer right here. This is a really good thing to have. Well, let me see, I'll use this. So you want to hold that steady, punch some holes, real easy. The idea here is to give that marinade places to go, give that seasoning somewhere to go. Don't want to beat it too much. We're not wanting to shred it, but we do want it to be tender and juicy. All right. Oh, by the way, with our steaks tonight, we're going to be having baked potato and garlic bread. Oh, well, wait, let's do the other side here. And salad, of course. Boy, that makes quick work of it, I'll tell you. All right, so put those in there. We're going to cover those with marinade. We've got a turkey baster out to do this with instead of pouring it over it. Whoop, if I can get it to stay in there. That should just about do it. Some salt. A little garlic. And some pepper. We're only going to season one side of this. We don't want to overdo it. We still want to taste the steak, and of course we want to taste the cannabis. Again, this is with a Maui and a Blue Dream combination, so it's got a really good taste. Now we're going to put in a little fresh garlic. Clean a couple of these up. We'll put more in the pan once it's hot, but we're going to put a little in there just to let it marinate. This is going to marinate for about an hour while the baked potatoes cook. After we get this going, I think we might start some dessert so we have something for after dinner's done. Tonight I'm thinking maybe lemon squares. What do you guys think? Okay. I'm just going to rub that in there a little bit. I want that nice fresh garlic taste in there. I want that in there good, and I'll leave that in there on there when it goes in the hot pan. Sear that in there real good. Oh boy, those are going to be good. Okay, so we're going to put this in the refrigerator, like I said, for about an hour, hour and 15 minutes. It's only going to take about 10 or 15 minutes to cook. So while this sits and absorbs all that flavor, we'll start working on everything else. Okay, so we've washed these potatoes. What we've got here is 2 russet potatoes, pretty good size. Scrubbed them really well. Be sure and get your potatoes real clean. There are certain issues you can have with dirty potatoes. So scrub them real hard, poke some holes in them. You want to help that steam get in there or get out of there. A little salt and pepper, or a lot of salt and pepper is what I like to do. This is going to be on the skin. This is going in the oven for an hour and a half. Potatoes are a little wet, so hopefully it'll stick to the skin. We'll roll it in a second. For those that don't know it, when you cook with salt, it draws the moisture out of the food. All right, well, there's one. Well, we got a hole in that one. Let's get a new piece. Careful with that steak knife. I'd like to end the night with the same number of fingers I started with. Salt and pepper. We'll put a little infused can of butter in these when they're done. A little sour cream should be really good. Okay, good tight wrap on those. And we're going to put those in the oven for an hour and a half. The oven's at 350 degrees. Set those back pretty far, and that's it. And that's it. Potatoes are going. Hey everybody, now we're going to make lemon squares. So I've decided to take the easy route here, if you want to call it the easy route, and we're using a box recipe rather than doing everything from scratch. But of course, we're adding cannabis, as we do to everything in Grumpy's Kitchen. So we start with a crust here. It's pretty simple. We've got tablespoons of melted butter. If I can get that out of there, it's starting to get firm already, but we've just got to blend it into the crust and pound it into the bottom of the pan. Now this will cook at about 350 degrees until it gets good and hot, maybe 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. You keep a close eye on it, and then after that you're going to want to pull it out to pour the filling in. So that'll give us time to make the filling. Let's start with the crust. That's it, just a bag and some butter. Now, as I usually do, I like to add a little extra something. So, of course, we've got to add a little bit of this. Now, this is our tincture. This is an alcohol tincture. It will make it somewhat different on when we put it in the pan. It may appear somewhat different, but the alcohol will cook out. So all that will be left is the good cannabis, the good parts, all the stuff we want. All right, we'll just leave that in there for now, because I know we're going to be using more. Okay. We need to grease this pan. We're using a glass pie pan this time. It says to use, I think, an 8-inch pan, 8-inch square pan. This is a 9-inch round pan. It's close enough. It should work just fine. Right after this, we'll make our meringue, our lemon meringue, and of course we're going to add more tincture to that. Get that good and packed in there. It will brown in the oven a little bit. Okay, we've got that pounded in pretty well. We're going to put this in the oven while let it brown for about 10 minutes, trying to get that level. Close enough. Okay, let's see, let's get that off of there. Nope, that's not coming off. All right, that's going in the oven. Again, 350 degrees. We'll let that get brown. While that's doing that, we will start our meringue. Okay, before we get started on the meringue, I've decided to go ahead and what I mean by that is I'm going to use just a little pastry brush and some of the warm butter, and I'm just going to brush the top of it once again just to add a little more butter, a little more can of butter. Should help it brown a little bit. We'll have to give it about 4 or 5 more minutes in the oven, so we can wait a couple minutes on the meringue once we get this back in. Boy, that's going to be good. And again, as I like to keep pointing out, the tincture was made with the Maui, which has a very bright, very fresh taste, which really goes good with lemon. Really goes good with lemon. Okay. All right, so we're gonna wait just about 5 minutes on the meringue, and we'll get it in the pan in a minute. Okay, so now we're gonna make the meringue. We've had our crust in the oven long enough. It's good and hot. So we're gonna go ahead and whip up our meringue. So this should be pretty easy. You can do this by hand, but I'm gonna go ahead and use an electric mixer. We've got just 1 tablespoon of can of butter. The meringue actually doesn't call for butter in this part of the recipe, but I've done this before. This is how I like it. It will blend in nicely. You can't put too much. So that should be pretty good. And once again, just because we can, we're also gonna add a little tincture. The alcohol will cook out in the oven. All right, and 3 eggs. Okay. Like I said, all these can be made from scratch, but you know, my objective here is to just show everybody how to use cannabis with their cooking, not necessarily how to make all these recipes from scratch. And let's see, oh, we forgot. Need 1/3 cup of water. Okay, you want to start that slow or you're going to be wearing it. And once it starts to blend in enough, you can turn it up a little. Again, you can do this by hand, but I've got this handy mixer sitting here, so we're going to do it the easy way. All right, our lemon squares are going to be yellow with a hint of green. All right, we're going to get the crust out. Oh, that's looking good. Starting to brown already. That's what we want. This doesn't have to be in there too long. Pour this right over a hot crust. That looks good. I can hear it. It's sizzling. That's probably some of the alcohol steaming off of there. All right. Get that back in the oven. Okay. And as always, I keep an extra thermometer hanging in the oven so I can verify what it says up here, because there is always a slight difference. So especially when you're cooking with cannabis, temperature is important. So if you can get an extra thermometer you can hang in there, that's a good idea. All right, so we've got it at 350. We're gonna set our timer for 12 minutes. We will check it in 12 minutes. And if it's ready, then we'll let it cool, and it should be ready just after dinner. Okay, that's it for now. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're checking on these steaks. They've been in the refrigerator for almost an hour. Let's see, let's get our metal tongs here. I always use the metal tongs with meat. As you can see, they've absorbed almost all the tincture. We're gonna go ahead and turn those over. Stir them up a little bit. Flip them around a little, rub some of that on there. Oh, that garlic is gonna be good. All right, these are gonna get probably 20 more minutes. So I think we might put just a little bit more on, just to add a little more flavor. Let's see, we get our turkey baster and our tincture. Boy, that is gonna be good. That alcohol really tenderizes that steak. And if you remember, we used a meat tenderizer on it also, so that's getting down in there. And oh man, that's gonna be good. It smells good for sure. Okay, so we're gonna put this back in the refrigerator until the potatoes are almost done, because the steak should only take maybe 5 minutes to 8 minutes in a pan, and they should be done. All right, we'll put those away. Okay, so our timer's just gone off, and I think our lemon bars should be about done. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful. Nice golden brown on the top. Woo, that's hot. A little dark around the edges, but that's okay. All right. Let's see, let's get somewhere to set that. I'm gonna have to let this cool for a while. So we'll let that cool for a little bit, and once it's cool enough, I'll put it in the refrigerator and I'll let it chill for a few hours, and then I can get it out of the pan and chop it up, and we can give it a shot. Should be delicious. I love the color. You really can't even tell that it's got the cannabis in there. It still has a nice yellow and golden brown color. So we'll check back in a bit when they're ready to try. Okay, so now we're gonna get to making the bread and the salad. The steaks will be going on shortly. I like to cut the bread pretty thick. And of course, we're going to be using the can of butter again, as always. Oh, that is going to be good. All right, we need some garlic salt for that. And I think we're going to go ahead and put just a pinch of cheese on there. Okay, and that's ready to go in the toaster. All right, we'll leave that in there while we get this salad and the steaks ready. Just set that over there for now. We're going to go ahead and chop up a little green pepper for the salad and a little yellow pepper for the salad, as well as some tomato. But we're also going to chop up some onion to go in the pan with the steaks, where those are going to be good. Okay, there's some green, and to throw in a little color, we've got orange. I've already washed the seeds out of these and cleaned them up a bit. Okay. Oh, that's going to be good. We've got a spring mix here on the salad, so it's got a little bit of everything in it. Oh boy, that's going to be good. All right, put a little cheese on those too. And of course, we'll get some croutons here in just a minute. Now, we're about to put these steaks in the pan, so we're going to go ahead and heat the pan up. I want the pan to get pretty hot. I'm going to put just enough olive oil in there for it to not be dry, but the steaks are already so moist. This is a non-stick pan. I really don't want it to fry. I just want it to cook. Okay, we've got our salads just about ready. Let's throw a little bit of tomato on there. Boy, those are going to be good. All right, oh, forgot the croutons. Be sure and cut this out and be bundle in the bag. All right, let's get some croutons on there. That is going to be good. Just a little fresh salt and pepper. And that pan should be just about hot enough for these steaks. Okay. I think it's just about ready. Now those steaks are only going to take a few minutes, so we're going to go ahead and turn the bread on. All right, we'll get our metal tongs for this. And this onion is to go in the pan with the steaks. All right. And here we go. Oh, that looks good. Okay. Now we need a spatula for this. Now, if it wasn't so cold out, I'd be doing this outside, but not this time. Okay. Let's crush up a little of this garlic. Should have had this prepped already, but forgot this one, so we'll get this ready right now. And we'll toss that right in there with the steak. Okay, so our baked potatoes are just about done. Our bread is cooking. Our salad is ready. We are just about ready to eat. Going to cook these steaks to a just about medium, some pink in the middle. Okay, my fingers are going to smell like garlic all night. Oh, that's looking good. that's looking good. And we're going to give it a little longer. We want to start on there pretty good. Just love that smell. Okay, so then get our baked potatoes out. Okay, it smells like we're going to be turning those in a minute. You know, I always knew when my mom was cooking steak because the smoke detector went off. In fact, I think we better do something about that pretty quick, or it's about to. She liked to cook her steak. She called it Pittsburgh rare, I think. It was charred on the outside and really pink on the inside. We are almost there. Okay. These just might be done. A couple more minutes. We are ready to eat. It's time to plate this food. This is the delicious garlic butter bread.
Hold on that real quick, sir. Just hold. Stop right where you're at.
Okay, it is time to plate this food. Alright. That is one hot potato. Okay, let's get our steaks. Wow, that looks good. We're gonna let that rest for just a couple minutes. Then it'll be time to eat. All right, little onion on there. Okay, all we've got left to do is load up our potatoes and have dinner. That's it. Infused steak with potato, which I will be putting can of butter on. Infused garlic bread and salad, and there you go. Infused steak from Uncle Grumpy's Kitchen. All right, folks, till next time, stay grumpy. I'll see you on the road.